Oh.
Have the nightmare again.
Oh. Yeah. Ooh.
Get to the bad part.
Ooh. Yeah, I bet. Just once. I wish I could stay for the sex.
Yeah, I bet you do. Kind of glad you're not there. Yeah.
Anyway, we watched a movie today.
No, Jackpot.
Jackpot. Okay, stop everything. We decided to do a Bollywood film.
We finally are making good on the promise.
We've checked the analytics. There are 7 subscribers right now that are from India. This is for you.
Fist bump.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm going to rip into it terribly, but
yeah, Jesus Christ.
This is for you.
I've seen a couple good Bollywood movies.
The closest I've seen, and I know it almost doesn't count, is Slumdog Millionaire.
And that, I mean, to be fair, it was made in India.
Yeah.
And it was co-produced by an Indian production company, and all the actors in there are fucking Indian. Right. So, but at the same time, it was primarily done by a British production company. So it's not technically Bollywood, but either way.
So, Netflix recently redid their categorization system, and they actually have a section strictly for Bollywood films. And I clicked on that, and I went down to the bottom of the highest rated.
Because why in the world would we go anywhere else?
This movie, Jackpot 2013, is literally the worst film out of Bollywood that Netflix has to offer.
It is the bottom of the barrel.
So, I guess I should give a bit of a plot before we get into the review.
You don't have to.
I don't know if I can.
You can go ahead and try. Okay. I will tip my hat to you if you do.
What you need to know is that this movie is told in anachronistic order, but not in any sort of sensible anachronistic order. Memento had
the score done by Tarantino, but then not. This is like someone trying to be Tarantino.
Basically, it wasn't done in any sort of sensible order in the way of like Memento, where it's like you can tell when it's going this direction, when it's going this direction. It's not,
and it's not like Pulp Fiction or Reservoir Dogs and whatnot, where you still have a cohesion of what is kind of going on, even if you don't understand the purpose of it being there yet.
Well, for Pulp Fiction, it was because it was only 3 segments.
Yeah,
this was like 30, so it opened up in certain spots, and you're like...
Well, actually, what? Ocean's 11 is a good explanation of this and whatnot. It's a con and all that jazz. It works to that degree, but...
Right, anyway.
Well, Ocean's 11 does. This doesn't.
Plot.
First we were like, what the fuck is going on?
I'm going to tell you the plot in story-wise order, not in the sense of what you see on screen, because that wouldn't make any sense. A group of friends get together and work out this con with this guy named Boss.
Boss.
To get a whole bunch of land and set up an Indian Disneyland on it. Sell it to Disney Company for a huge profit. However, there's a sub-con going on where see, this is how confusing it is. They try to get the money to buy the land by ripping off Boss's own casino, and he's in on the plan, so they can
get the money from the insurance.
Right, so that they can get the money from the insurance and get extra money there, and then it will cost them significantly less. However, there's a whole subplot going on where somebody stole the winnings from his casino, and no one knows who it is. But it turns out that it was the boss who stole it, even though it was led up to somebody else the entire time. And there's another subplot going on that is actually the overarching con, where there never were any people from Disney. And there never was an insurance agent. It was all just the original con people conning the boss. So, the weird thing I think I need to say is, for as confusing as it sounds, we were calling this shit. Like, most of this is like, yes, okay, he's actually got the money, and then this happens, and then that happens, and da-ba-da-ba-da.
Prince, wash and repeat.
Yeah, pretty much. And I don't even...
I mean, when you really boil away the style setup, and we're not even getting to the songs yet. It's Bollywood. Expect to have them.
Yeah.
I was like all excited when they started showing up, but the thing is, though, the plot itself is a pretty stock standard con plot, which is not bad. I mean, like, there are plenty of what I think decent movies that pull off that type of thing, like Matchstick Men.
Yeah.
They pull off the common plot the common con plot very well.
So if you just have like the one layer plot, like the one layer con,
yeah,
then it's a heist movie.
Yeah.
If you have the 2-layer con, then it's like, it's a con movie. It's getting into the psychological aspect of it more than just the excitement of it. Then this one's got like 3 to 4 layers deep, and it's like, okay, what? Yeah, sure, whatever.
The layering of this kind of reminds me of House of Games, which is a David Mamet movie, and I've actually done a review of this movie already, so go and go and watch it. But the thing is, though, this is a multi-layered con movie, and it does it really well. I mean, David Mamet is probably one of the best playwrights alive. But the thing is, though, at the same time, this one was so caught up its own ass with the style that...
It all right, forgot to do a con.
We're going to actually get to the songs now. One, these songs, except there's, I think, 4 in total.
Again, depends on what you want to say.
2 of them have actually something to do with the plot.
One of them has something to do in the way of, like...
One was directly moving the plot forward.
Yes, one of which was just talking about the plot.
Yeah, which is fine.
Yeah. And then there's 2 other ones.
Well, there's 3 total.
Oh, okay.
Because remember the very first one?
That's right. Sorry.
That's the one that has nothing whatsoever to do with the plot.
Yeah.
Because, like, I have that one who actually does have something to do with it. Then you have another one, which is kind of like the lovey one.
Yeah.
Love, 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 long ago.
we were actually... We had to watch it with subtitles. We were singing
the American translation.
And it fit surprisingly well.
English translation, yeah, sorry.
But even for us.
Yeah. And then the very first song at the very beginning, it comes the bum fuck out of nowhere. And we're not even talking about the opening theme song, which looks like it's trying to rip off a James Bond song.
I wouldn't say it was trying to rip off. It did rip off.
It looked like it was trying to do some Casino Royale bullshit on it. But, like, mix in, like, shit from, like, Martin Scorsese's Casino. But opening credit sequence wasn't horrible, though.
No.
I actually thought it was okay.
Looked fine.
The graphics were done pretty well. It's better than I can do. But the thing is, though, the first song, no reason that it needs to be there. It was really just a club banger.
Basically, what happened leading up to it was they were like, hey, we're in this casino now, and we managed to get a little bit of money. Let's just all of a sudden be in a club that looks like it's in Vegas, singing about Jackpot. Jackpot, 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 jackpot.
Musical interlude.
Yeah, and everyone's of course doing their dances and all that because it's
Bollywood.
Right.
If you go to like some of more classic and really fucking long, these movies are usually long. This movie is only an hour and a half, which was amazing to us considering most Bollywood films are bloody, like, they're huge. They're like 2.5 hour, 3 hour films on average. And so the thing
We're dedicated, but...
Yeah, but the Bollywood songs, and I'm familiar, I have a couple people who I know from India who actually have lived there, who grew up there, like Mumbai and whatnot. And I've talked about Bollywood films. This is obviously my own perception on this. I don't know how true this is. But from what I understand, Bollywood movies... Bollywood is the number 1 highest producing movie system in the world behind Hollywood.
Cool.
They produce, actually, if you just want to compare just Hollywood studios with Bollywood, Bollywood produces way more movies every year than Hollywood ever does. But that's the thing. They produce a shit ton of these movies every year. They mass produce them. They run through them. And also... it gets down to where the songs are. It seems like the plot is just usually, not so much in this movie, but usually the plot is just a string that goes between each number.
Yeah.
And you got at least 5 or 6 numbers in this. They're like stock standard musicals. The only difference being is that the main source, not even of pop music, just in music in general, from what I understand, in India comes from Bollywood movies. So it's this movie literally, like, first we were looking at it, I'm like, this looks like it does not belong in this film whatsoever. I'm like, it's like Moonwalker with Michael Jackson. It's like, this...
It's like, okay.
There's no reason. It's just a collection of music videos.
There's a scene. There is a scene, but when the second one comes up, the love song.
Yeah.
When that comes up, the scene leading into it is part of the achronal, like, disorder of the movie. We find out that she had been coming into his house and, like, threatening him to tell her where the money was. But we don't see that until later. All we see is them being all lovey-dovey in bed, casually asking about the money, and then going into the love song afterwards. But if you put this movie in order of how the scenes are, like, supposed to be, basically it's like they're fighting each other against the walls.
And then they're fucking.
And then they're fucking, and then just casual, like, tell me where the money is? No. I love you. Don't ever change. Do the stuff of the thing.
Bitch.
So...
Guys.
It seemed like the song just popped the bump up out of nowhere. Just to put the song in.
And to be fair, alright, this is not the worst Bollywood movie out there. No. Not by our research and not by a long shot. This is just the lowest one that was rated on Netflix that is currently on the instant streaming library. So, as a result of that, this movie, I actually didn't think it was a horrible experience, because there's plenty of movies we've done for this show that are way fucking worse than this. Especially, and I think it was possibly because the production values on this were pretty decent, and that helped to swallow a lot. If this was like shot like a fucking like Uli Lamel movie, like it would be unbearable to watch.
Okay, I'm going to put forward a thesis to you.
Okay,
and I'm going to sound fucking terrible saying this thesis, but I have a point to it. In porn,
okay,
especially because we are two white guys in America. In porn, if you see a like English plot-based porn, typically the acting isn't all that great. Correct?
Yeah.
But
usually,
if you see a plot-based like Japanese porn or something like that, the acting all of a sudden doesn't seem terrible. The acting is like, you consider it as fine. That's how I see it, at least, in the way of that it's because you can't understand their inflections and their language and whatever else.
It's easier to swallow, and it's also you have a less ability to just, and it's really, this is just in foreign films in general, you have a less of ability to discern if they actually are acting poorly or not.
Right. That's what I feel like happened here. I was thinking about, okay, let's move on to the acting. I was thinking about the actors, and I couldn't tell if they were good or bad. I knew some of them were over the top, but I couldn't tell if they were bad because they spoke a different language. They spoke, I don't know what the official term is.
Also, it's Hindi.
Hindi. Okay.
Also, the ADR work on this is awkward as shit.
Yeah. The man is standing here.
It's clear. You can definitely hear what people are saying. That is not a problem.
The problem is that if he's 30 feet away from the camera, he shouldn't sound the same volume that he is
right up here.
Right here.
Now, at the same time, that's a nitpick, and to be honest, actually, I'm more happy that we're able to completely clearly hear what people are saying, besides, like, what are you trying to mumble about?
Yeah.
It's not a mumblecore movie whatsoever. Overall, and for going into the acting and whatnot, like, the acting, from what I understand, and I'm also basing it off of a couple other Bollywood movies I've seen. The number one Bollywood movie that I've seen that is up in my head is the movie Black, which is kind of like a retelling of the Hella Keller story, which is fucking fantastic, if I can endorse this movie here. But comparatively to a movie like that versus a movie like this, I can definitely see differences in the acting, and not only in the style, but also in the full-on delivery. Sometimes some of these people look like they were reading off scripts. Other times, they were reciting the words. They knew their lines, but they weren't really in them.
I was going to say, but
to be fair, there wasn't a whole lot to be in. But
what I'm thinking about is the fact that I'm thinking back to their facial expressions, because no matter what culture you in, that stays a constant.
Yeah, the main protagonist is like,
dear God, he showed nothing. No matter what was going on.
I thought you loved me. I thought you...
I'm a con man. I'm able to control my emotions.
I'm blowing out your ass.
I'd say the most emotional character out of the whole thing was the police officer character.
Yeah, he was definitely having fun with his role.
He was essentially Inspector Clouseau.
Half of you are going to end up dead, the other half in jail. And now I'm going to pimp away.
Yeah, he was having fun with the role, and I saw a lot of, like...
And I wanted to see more of him.
Yeah, well...
I did. Because even though it was over the top and, to be honest, cheesy as shit acting, it was entertaining.
Yeah, it was better than whatever the main character was doing.
I don't know who any of these people's names are,
we
except for Boss, because that's
Boss,
easy
Francis,
fucking to remember.
Maya, Condi, Keeper? I don't know. He died, and he didn't do a lot.
Well, he didn't really die.
Plot.
Oh, they all died! None of them
Now
died.
they're all paid off. Somehow they faked a knife wound. Anyway, so yeah, that's... when it comes down to the facial expression, none of them really showed anything. One character that I really feel like we need to talk about, though, is the Boss character.
These big old white dreads. Remember the white dread vampire in Blade 2?
Remember the
He
guy...
stole his hair.
Matrix Reloaded.
Yeah, that too. He stole his hair. And whatnot, he's just like... And also, we've seen the behind-the-scenes footage of this when the credits are rolling. His hair is not actually that long. No. His hair is short. Actually, with it off, he looks more like that guy from, like, the Dos Equis commercials, like, the most interesting man alive. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, okay, why didn't you have him? Yeah. He looks more like he...
Because this guy...
Why is he needed?
He's got, like, a gun trained on virtually everybody. And sometimes he's just sitting there, just like... So he's a gun trained on, like, everybody throughout this film. But he's not threatening.
No,
he's just,
ever.
He looks like a retired party.
He's like, Grandpa, put the gun down.
Yeah, he's like, back in my day, we used to snort mushrooms.
I'm sure.
Hey, where's my pudding? But if he were to have that off and had, like, the short hair, I would have been like, yeah, that man will shoot you.
Also, it never had any basis for any of these characters. They popped the fuck right out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Okay, the Uncharted games and whatnot. If you go to the first one, it's a heist style. It starts out before everything gets all creepy. Mm-hmm. In the very beginning, though, even though you start the story in medias res, in the middle of things, you still get an idea of the backstory of these characters. Yeah. During the actual heist and before, it is called establishing a stasis. And it is script writing 101.
That's true. Before the movie started, I had no feeling for what any of the characters were doing. I had no... Francis and Maya were supposed to...
And the editing is fucking bizarre, so like, alright, you're spending more time searching for what's going on rather than like, okay, this is how the character's evolving or something.
When are we? That's basically what... Every time that the time changed, we're like, when are we? Is this before the... And it also doesn't help that they're exchanging all the entire way that you're supposed to tell where you are is how much money are they talking about either getting back or
basically.
Losing. So if you lose track of something...
There's got to be a better way.
Because let's see here. Disneyland cost, what, $100 million. They had $50 million for the cash prize. There were $12.5 million among the four of them. Then there was the $10,000 they got for that one thing, $100,000 for getting into the tournament. They just throw off these numbers and it's just like, that's how you know where we are, depending on what number we're talking about. Bitch, no. Especially because, and here's the especially crazy part, I guess in the Indian counting system, or whatever money currency they use, when it says 50 million in the captions, they say 5 crore. So when you say 50, it then goes 5.
That's really more of the...
But that's... When you're supposed to keep track of the numbers, that's... Like, you hear one thing... They read a different thing.
Well, to be fair, it's...
I know.
This movie is a mix of Hindi and English.
I know.
So it makes the usage of subtitles a little hard.
And I don't know who wrote the subtitles. If they were included in the
I don't
thing, or
know.
if it
Sometimes I've seen horrible
Netflix.
subtitle translations.
If it was included in it from the actual company who made it, what was it, Viking Entertainment or
It
whatever?
probably wasn't.
But if it was, then they shouldn't have translated the money over as well.
Yeah.
They should have just said 5 crore. In fact, I think it would have been, because if Netflix did, they would have just taken the direct audio. They would have said 5 crore.
No, because like the way that it's set up and whatnot, like you can definitely tell if it's the set subtitles.
Right.
But anyway, whatnot. The last, I mean, I don't really have much else to talk about this movie,
no.
except the last bit that I have to talk about is the soundtrack, and over the songs themselves. The songs, they're not great. They're not horrible. They're just kind of there, and you can tell that there is effort that went into a bunch of this shit, which is kind of sad that it was kind of wasted on such trivial bullshit. You had a lot of shit that you could have worked with here to make this stuff a pretty average but a pretty enjoyable heist movie. Even with the songs, you could have found some way of doing it, but either way, the actual soundtrack, they keep reverting back to this same music stinger.
Yeah.
Like, every time.
I don't even remember. It was like, do-do-do-do-do-do. Was that?
Something like that, yeah.
It was like some electronica.
Yeah, there's a lot of electronica in this, and which is fine. You can make it work, but it's the same. And then all of a sudden, it would start up and then stop with like abrupt halts. Yeah. So, other than that, yeah.
Yeah, no, there's not. I guess. Do you want to do final thoughts?
I guess so.
Okay, I'll start with mine. I don't have the authority to speak on this movie in respect to Bollywood as a whole. If we're being completely honest, this is our token Bollywood film for this show. Because, don't get us wrong, Bollywood's come out with some great stuff. They come out with some, like, great stuff. But I personally have not watched a lot of it. And they've also come out with enough shit that they just deserve a spot on ShitFlix. So, when it comes down to that, judging this as solely a movie...
Ironically, we have an Indian director as one of our worst directors, and yet he's never made a Bollywood film.
Sure. So when judging this as a movie on its own and not a Bollywood movie, not knowing anything about like the culture or anything like that, which I know is important to enjoying a Bollywood film, it was just boring and confusing. It whatever action it had was just You never felt any tension, especially because they basically show the ending in the beginning. The very first shot is like about three scenes from the end, if even. It might
actually no, it's probably the epilogue.
Probably.
Yeah, because the way that it's all set up,
where they're together and everything like that. Yeah, and they're
you start the movie off at the end of the movie.
So you feel no tension whatsoever, and so you would think, okay, well, I guess the joy is in how they got there.
That's what confuses me as fuck after the opening credits. Because I'm like, okay, this is the lead in to something else. I'm like, no, this was the end. And you're not going to find out until the end that this was the end, and you're going to be an idiot.
So I guess the way that I really look at it is, there was no reason to really tell it out of order except to, confuse the viewers a bit more. Because I'm sure if you put it in order, it would be entirely obvious, like, where everything was.
Yeah.
But if you told it out of order, it's like, wait, what's going on? Huh? And then when it all rolled together, you're tricked into believing, oh, that was amazing. I didn't guess that the whole time.
Yeah, I mean, you could have used some slight misdirection, like a Guy Ritchie does in like the Sherlock Holmes movie, or like in The Man from U.N.C.L.E. that just recently came out. Mm-hmm. It's slight misdirection that automatically gets brought up right afterwards on what you just missed without realizing it, that type of thing. But they don't do that.
So, all in all, when it comes down to it, just as its own movie, and not considering the Bollywood aspect, it's not bad. It's just there. It's. I wouldn't even say it's just there. It's just, why did this story need to be told? At no point did any character change. A boss may have died. I'm not sure though, and it wasn't all that.
Went down with the ship.
It wasn't all that
interesting
of a story. I mean, yeah, sure, a con's going on and all that, but I don't care for any of the characters. They don't show what they do with the money. There's no except to have the money. There isn't oh, I'm doing this for my dying family or whatever.
Yeah.
They just want the money to have the money. Fine, whatever, if you want to. But because of that, I felt nothing for any of the characters. So the journey didn't work. The destination was revealed at the beginning. There's no reason to watch this movie.
Overall, like, this movie was trying to be something that I don't know what it ended up becoming. The one thing is for certain to me, and I don't know actually if this is true or not, but this just seems like a certainty to me, that the music videos, especially the first one that happened, these were the reasons why the movie was made. I have a feeling that these music videos were actually these pop star / actors that they had in the movie, and this movie was just tied together to link those music videos together, so they would have a reason to be released. If what I've been told about the Indian music market is true, it might not be. And it might have actually been changed from the last time I was told. Who knows? But overall, the movie just it doesn't work as a musical. It doesn't work as a heist movie. It doesn't work as a romance. Definitely fucking sure. And also, it doesn't really work as a con movie. It just doesn't work. And also, everything mixed up. Like, you could have done something to split up where we were in time. Like, even traffic changed the color saturation in the different sections. You did nothing.
Real quick, I just need to add in.
Yeah.
I wanted to look in to see if the girl, the main actress, Maya, whether or not she was a singer, because, that would be a thing. She has porn.
She has porn.
She has a lot of porn. So...
That explains a lot.
Yeah.
Especially that one scene.
There's that.
Yeah, we forgot about the inexplicable sex scene that just kind of happened.
Well, I mentioned it, but yeah.
Yeah, but
So,
it's like, oh, we're fighting. Okay, you ripped my clothes off. It's time to take the rest of them off, too.
Alright, so is that all?
That's all from me.
Okay. Since I just looked at the time, I'm running late for my bus. Okay? So, do you have some fare that I could borrow?
Yeah,
Okay,
sure.
Cool. I'll put on my shoes real quick. Oh, thanks, man. Really.
You think you could con me?
I could what you?
And then humiliate me?
I'm sorry, I don't...
You try to steal my money?
Your money? I don't have...
You thought it was a good one, right?
I'm a Joker card? I'm a Batman villain?
I bet you're feeling really on top of the world, aren't you, David?
What are you talking about?
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty on top of the world. I'm feeling pretty lucky, too. You feeling pretty lucky?
What?
Okay. Let's test that luck.
What?
Let's test that luck.
What?
6 chances.
What?
6 chances,
What?
David.
What?
1 bullet.
What?
I'll go first.
What? Fuck this. Fuck. Nope. Alright, nope. Okay, bye. Alright, nope. Well, okay, alright, bye. Okay.
All the bad boys want some road